Well, good evening, my lovely people. How you doing? Oh God! Welcome to the train wreck of a human being. I'd wait for the YouTube. Audio's good. Yep, we're all set to go. Well, welcome again to another week. I haven't had time to really keep up with a lot of things with all these bloody hospital appointments. With another one today. Spent last part of the morning and probably the first couple of hours of the afternoon there. Good evening, Stitch, Lil Stitch, and Resist will be in the background there. Good evening, Scud. But yeah, I had an appointment booked for today. Good evening, Marines. As some of you know, I was a bit worried, and so was my GP, that my bypass surgery had failed. So I went in today to have some scans to have it all checked out. And the good news is it's absolutely fine. So now they got to look elsewhere for why I'm getting pains in my hip. But yeah, the surgery's absolutely fine. It's working as it should. So that was a bit of a relief. Good evening, Karen. I hadn't been home an hour or two, and I got another phone call from the hospital. Could I go in tomorrow to have some x-rays? So I'm back up there again tomorrow. And then next week I've got 2 or 3. The following week I've got 3. And then the week after that we're off up to Cumbria. So yeah, it was a bit of a relief, Stitch. It was one of the ones that I didn't want to have issue with, simply because the surgeon that did the work said if there was any problem and it failed, because that was the last resort, then I'd probably end up losing my legs. So yeah, that was a big relief. And it was nice to get an instant result. This is the advantage of seeing a consultant surgeon rather than just seeing a doctor. Most of the ones at the hospital now, I do see consultants and not just their underlings. But we're all set to go away. I got all my prescriptions ordered and delivered today. So I shouldn't run out while I'm away. But yeah, we'll get on to the subjects for tonight now. I've done the update on my racked body. Obviously, the big one for today is the NATO little jolly. But what did I see out of that? Well, Starmer stands there and says that we've done this, we've done that, we've sorted this, we've sorted that. No, fuck off, mate. And he had the cheek to say they were at the forefront of everything NATO does. Us and our wonderful allies. No, you're not at the forefront. Far from it. I mean, America puts 2/3 apparently of the finance into NATO, and Starmer thinks he can fucking hijack it. No, they tolerate you, you little prick, simply because they want to base their staff and weapons in this country. You're just a little annoyance to them. They just tolerate you. I mean, the fact that the Iranians were told that they were going to be attacked before you were told that it was going to happen tells me a lot, and tells the world a lot. He's just making himself look an absolute twat everywhere he goes and every time he opens his mouth. We can't afford 5% GDP on defence. But in amongst all the figures, he's mixed in border force, border control, and the immigrant hotels in the defence budget, apparently, somehow. I don't know how the fuck that's worked, but it wouldn't be at all surprising knowing how they lie and cook the books. But why is Zelensky even there, for fuck's sake? He's not even a member of NATO. Yeah, he thinks he has a right to gate crash their little fucking hoo-ha.
He's got to wear his shirt more than
Oh, yeah, he's got to show that he's got a jacket and shirt off, hasn't he? He almost tried to look decent in front of old chubby fingers, but didn't quite pull it off. But he's pushing the Russian thing. Oh, but Russia is a great threat to the UK now. The only reason we're a threat is because of the American bases. And I mean, there's two big superpowers with the nukes. You got Russia, you got America. Now, I don't believe Trump or Putin are absolutely mad enough to use them on each other, because that would end up in the mad situation, the mutual assured destruction. Neither side would come out a winner. And the ones you got to worry about are these little dictators, so call them, extremists that have actually got the nuclear power, which this is what Iran is all about. They're the sort of radical idiots that would fire one off. They don't give a fuck whether they live or die. If they die, they're a martyr. Ooh, they're going to go and collect their 72 virgins. Where the fuck do you find 72 virgins for each dead body nowadays? You'd have a job on the planet, but hey. When he's with these leaders, he seems... Yeah, he is, Scar. He is. You look at him, he's a short little ass, like Zelensky. They dwarf him, and they're literally mocking him. I mean, Trump does it all the time, That's why I like to watch some of Trump's speeches, simply because there is a chance, because you never know what the fucker's going to say. There is every chance he's going to mock Starmer, which I actually love to see. But he doesn't read the room. He doesn't know how unpopular he is. He thinks everybody wants to do deals with him, and they don't. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Britain is a very bad investment, and a lot of investors are seeing it that way. Although he keeps putting it out the other way, but we see the truth. We know he's lying again. But let's build up the country's security. Right, well, we've got one of the biggest fucking invasions going on this country's ever had. An F-35 nuclear capable fucking fighters aren't going to solve that problem. So how you think you can keep a superpower from the door when you can't even stop a few fucking rubber boats coming across the channel? That says it all about your defence schemes, And the paddlers are still coming in record numbers. And there's been the big expose on them now. I think it was it the Sun? About the food deliveries. Well, call me racist if you want, but I wouldn't want one of them fuckers delivering my fucking food. You don't know what they're doing in it. You've seen how they work in public. They shit anywhere, piss anywhere. And I wouldn't want them anywhere near any food I was having delivered. But where are they getting the fucking bikes from? You know, these electric bikes that they're all using. Where are they getting them from? Are they stealing them? If so, they should be arrested. Is the government funding them? Well, considering some of them actually, or I should say allegedly, delivered food to the Home Office, maybe the government are buying them for them, which is more money from the taxpayer. And they shouldn't be working anyway. I've said for ages, the security guards on the hotels are immigrants themselves. They've probably just been given special dispensation to work. Most of them can't speak fucking English. Yeah, that's all it would take, wouldn't it, Scott? I mean, in fairness, the French have changed their laws. From the end of this month, I believe, they can enter the water to stop them, and they can turn them back once they're in the boats. But there again, they had the power to stop them on the beaches before. We paid for them to stop them on the beaches, yet still they came. So if the French police want to sit back and just carry on as they're doing, they'll do it, won't they? Good evening, Adrian. How you doing, buddy? But,
Hi, Adrian.
But yeah, you know, where are they getting the money from for these fucking bikes? Yes, some of them are, Scar, and the police are supposed to be cracking down on it. But these little bastards, they shouldn't be fucking doing jobs like that. I know it'd be a job to find English people to do it, especially with these people on the streets at night, because they wouldn't be safe. We've seen it, well, didn't see it, but a member of the family has seen one of these delivery drivers attacked, and he was laid on the path with a bloody great big 12-inch kitchen knife sticking out of his back. That was Heather's granddaughter. Saw that out of the window. It was just across the road from them. So, you know, an English person doing the delivery, they're putting themselves at risk with these people here. But nobody seems to be doing anything. In fact, they're opening more and more hotels, although they said they were going to shut them down. Oh, there's an idea. Now, somebody said the other day that this proposed benefits cuts, and we'll get onto that in a bit, is costing the country, I think it was 4.8 or 4.9 billion a year. Now, if they got rid of all them imports, ship them off anywhere, I don't give a flying fuck. Stop the country's foreign aid if they won't take them back. Make them take them. And that 4.9 billion is almost the amount that they want to save on welfare cuts. Just saying. Simple solution. Or just stop giving fucking Ukraine loads of money. You know? Starmer keeps standing up there saying, oh, we abdicate for peace. We want peace talks. And there he is feeding one side of a fucking war with weapons, money. It's alleged that there are personnel there as well. Can't verify that, but I wouldn't be at all surprised. We know a lot were sent over there to train them. But yeah, you know, don't look at persecuting the old, the sick, the crippled, just to keep your fucking wars going. You're a despicable little bastard. Yeah, there's all sorts of things going on around that scar. There's fucking all sorts. I'll tell you what, baby, we'll have that fan on if I can.
Okay, give me a
It's
sec.
starting to get warm here. It was all right while we had the window open, but once we've got the recording lights on, I have to shut the window, otherwise all the little winged things that bite come in. But yeah, there's always going to be scams going on around that scar, misdeliveries. It's just like the scams with the minority taxi drivers, all working under the one license and sleeping in the bed on alternate shifts. But the thing is, they shouldn't be working to start with. They are here illegally. They are criminals in the eyes of the law. So how did they get away with all this, And they're still being protected. I mean, that one in, was it Nottingham or Northampton? One of the two. One of the stabby type got arrested. Police covered up his identity and the fact that he was staying in one of the local hotels because they didn't want any trouble. Well, have they learned nothing from the past? They've learned nothing about what hiding the truth actually does. I mean, Ireland, people are starting to take it all into their own hands now. And that's what's going to happen here. But there you go. That's enough on that. But at the end of the day, I don't think any of the other world leaders trust Starmer. Zelensky's only here because he knows that Starmer will pander to him. How the fuck does that little warmonger get to meet the king anyway? But yeah, but the inquiry now, the vote next week, next Tuesday, on the welfare reform. Big movement from a lot of Labour bods saying that they're going to vote against it. One of the Tories today actually told Rayner at PMQs, which I didn't see this week, I just seen clips, that they would actually back the bill if Labour changed certain things in it. So the Tories could flip-flop on that. But at the moment, if you believe everything you hear, which you can't from MPs in Parliament, there should be more than enough to vote it down. This is before the whip goes round and starts threatening people and what have you. But there are things in place to put an amendment in which will, as I say, it will hold it up well beyond the next election. But which Labour, I don't believe, have got any chance in hell of winning. Local experimentalist, good evening, buddy. Welcome. But yeah, it's proved what we said about Starmer. He doesn't care about the people of his country. He doesn't care whether you're old, sick, young. Yeah, they only seem to have the moral scourges. But how many times have we seen them and heard them say they're going to vote something down, and then they turn it around on voting day? Smoke screening and then reversing it. We've seen it a few times. Yes, we got the winter fuel payments for the pensioners reinstated, basically. But they will take some of that back before it's payable, believe me. Don't forget there's another budget to go before then. But yeah, that bill, fucking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. None of them have got morals or integrity, Scott. You know, anybody that can stand there and blatantly lie to the whole country to get installed in power, there's no integrity there. There's no morals there. Good evening, Graham. How you doing, buddy? Usual fucking visit. But yeah, it shows their real, true colours. It's absolutely disgusting, and I'm hoping it won't go through. But you never know. And the thing is, he'll only find something else to persecute people with. And I don't mean just him, because there is rumblings that this could be the end of Starmer with this. Don't bank on it. Don't bank on it. Some of the stuff he's already pulled off that he should have been absolutely removed from Parliament for. Some things that the whole fucking party should have been slung out of Parliament for. But they're still there, and so is he. So don't bank on this. They're going to remove him. Yeah. Oh, pardon me. Oh, they're not allowing emojis on it. I mean, I've got some on there, Graham, so they might be after you again, mate.
No,
But
you were saying you hadn't liked his comment, I think. He's put a comment on the vid, but he didn't get a thumbs up or a heart.
Oh, I did. I've replied to you. I'm sure I did.
Or you meant to.
Let me have a look.
Was that when you dozed off?
No. I think they're more frightened of the deputy than the PM. Yes. Go to your channel. Manage videos. Oh, come on. You're taking your sweet funny fucking time. Oh. Sorry, I've lost the chat there for a minute, guys, while I'm... Elastic Harmony, I don't know who the hell that is. No, you're right, Graham. It's not. I will endeavour to fix that. Where are we fucking gone? Oh my God, hang on.
He needed a bit of a snooze when he came back from the hospital.
No, I've just fucking signed myself off. Can you put in the chat? I'll be back in a sec. I said this would fucking happen.
Where have you gone from? YouTube?
Yeah, hang on.
I was going to say, because I can still see you. And I can still hear you.
Yeah, but it's all this up here, how I have it all set up, like, you know.
Yes, darling, but you are still live.
Oh, yeah, look, I've got two of them up now. Oh, I don't want two of me. Fucking hell. Oh, dear.
Well, you know how I feel.
Sorry about that, guys. You know what I'm like with the tech.
I thought you'd lost the
Oh,
live.
God, yeah, all right, Glug, I'll get back to you later. This is the trouble when you got people that end on YouTube that think you're available every fucking minute of the day to send you stuff. Gordo!
Loves you.
Good evening, matey. Doppelganger, yeah. It's enough looking at one of me in the mirror, mate. I wouldn't want to do too often. But look at this attack on, and I will call it an attack, on RAF Bryce Norton. Well, that's not far up the road from the area where I was born. When I was younger, we used to go over there bowling. Was fishing last night when you were streaming. No, that's right, Graham. No worries, mate. If someone said, because I don't get alerts for comments, as you know. So I have to go back and check, and I hadn't checked before I come on air. So. But yeah, Bryce Norton. Now, it's supposed to be a very secure base, which obviously it isn't. I believe in some capacity Serco are involved, but whether it's with security or not, as I said in the video, I don't know. But as they've now proscribed Palestine action, it's not going to stop them. Because all they'll do is they'll come out protesting with the pro-Palestinians. If those two get caught, I haven't heard anything on it, but they should be jailed. That to me, Starmer called it vandalising. No, that was a terrorist attack. It was on a military base, and the attack was to damage or disable military aircraft. That is not vandalism. Yeah, I wish we all could prescribe that, Graham. But no, I would call that an act of terrorism rather than vandalisation. I mean, Starmer reputedly said, oh yeah, they broke the law. But I can understand the point of view. They were trying to stop a war. No, bollocks. Throw them both away. Unless they're foreigners, and fuck them off out of the country. But Starmer can't be trusted anywhere. He's not trusted here. He's not trusted abroad. If you listen to the ones that are speaking the loudest, he's not trusted by his own people. So, yeah, it'd be nice to think he'd be gone after the vote next week, but yeah, exactly, Scar. You break into a military base, but where they got in, I mean, I know the area, and they come in from the field side, the grass side. They didn't come in anywhere near the gates. But you'd have thought there'd have been heightened security on. I haven't looked at the security levels, so I don't know whether they're on bikini red or bikini black or what. But yeah, they should definitely have never got in. Not a critical refueling base and cargo base like that. You'd be quite surprised what goes in and out through that place. There you go. Oh, bloody hell. As I say, I ain't got that much written down tonight because all these bloody hospital appointments. But, yeah, Starmer caught out again, didn't he? Using actors in his little PR stunts. But I've been saying for a long time, this is what they've been doing. Even as an air cadet, I had enough. Yeah, exactly, Graham. And that was where the Queen's flight used to be kept. So, but yeah, I've been saying, I mean, you've seen what happens when you put real people in front of the camera alongside these knobs from the committee, as it were. To remember the guy, the bored as fuck in the background, beside Rachel from accounts. They're all paid. Every single one of them's paid. And being called out like that, it just shows how much he will lie. That was nothing more than a television advert. You know, go away. Oh. Yeah, it was the old twin engine one, wasn't it? Not the Andover, it was the smaller one. Yeah, I remember it silver with the red stripe down the side. We quite often see it flying over. But yeah, that cover up, you know, as I've said before, I've seen it firsthand how they manipulate it out here. We had the Olympic torch past the doorstep and they bust people in, put them by the side of the road, put their little banners on the school railings, everybody cheering and waving, did a little speech, and then they all got in the bus and fucked off to the next one. You know, it was the police actually shut the road off, so they were like doing a rolling shutdown everywhere they went. And over to start with, yeah, then replaced with the 146. Yeah, I knew it was something like that. You got to remember, Graham, I come from the time as a kid when I used to sit at the end of the runways and watch the Beverleys and the Argosies taking off with the Marines in and the Paras. Well, until the one went through the end of the runway and crashed into a couple of houses in the village. I believe it was 18. I think it was Paras were killed plus the crew and two little old ladies in one of the cottages. They stopped doing it after that. That was RAF Abingdon many, many moons ago. But yeah, you know, there's people now going back looking at all these other little PR stunts, and you can see them at the time. They're not genuine people in the background. They're not interested in anything they got to say. They're just looking interested because they're being paid to do that. Yeah, that's what I say though, Scott. You look at the amount of rules he's broke in Parliament, parliamentary rules. You know, misleading the House, lying to the House. You know, if Mr. Speaker had any fucking backbone, he'd be shutting them down. But he ain't. He's in with them. He's as bad as them. I mean, look at the little fucking weasel welcoming in Zelensky. Oh, you're always welcome here. England is your home. You're always welcome in England. Fuck off, you traitor. It's not his home. And as far as I'm concerned, he's not fucking welcome here. Yeah, I can't stand the little prick. It's give me money, give me money, give me money. All the fucking time with him. And it's not helping him win a war because he's doing nothing with it. It's being whittled away. Yeah, I remember you telling me, quite a few years ago now, Graham, that you were at RAF Benson. We used to go out to the scrapyard out there, Passys. It was called. We knew Andy Passy, the speedway rider. His dad owned it. We used to get plenty of parts for free there. Oh, MPs, they're led. You know, one or two have got their own free thinking going on, and they get persecuted by the rest of them. You know, they've already lost the what was she, Secretary to the Treasury over the benefits cut bill, or to give it its benefits reform. Well, that usually means cuts anyway, but you know, she openly said she's having no part of it. Bucked off. Good on her. I applaud the ones that do that. Anybody else got anything to say on any of those topics? You know what I'm like for my notes here. It's not quite as much as usual. He doesn't want to. Yeah, exactly, Scar. I mean, allegedly, he's already got at least 2 nice places in America. Although whether Trump would allow him to stay there, he bought them while the Biden shit was going on, I believe. But that's the same with these fucking dicks on the streets and these minority groups. We don't want to live here. We hate your fucking country. We hate your people. Well, get back on a boat and fuck off then. You know, go to a country where you can practice your fucking evil religion. Well, I wouldn't call it a religion. It's... I don't think it's got anything to do with religion, but... Yeah, but that's what they say, Scar. There's always money to be made in war. You got the ones that die for the people that want to make money. Bit like what we saw over COVID, wasn't it? People dying so they can make money. What else we got here in the chat? Ooh. 22 watching and nobody's got any other opinions on it all.
No, we know you're always right.
Except for when I'm wrong, and then rule 1 applies.
Trouble is, you never admit when you're wrong.
Oh, I do occasionally.
I do.
Yeah, Graham, he got, I think it was something to do with the fact that he'd been given a green card. So he had dual nationality. But it was something to do with the fact that he hadn't resided there for a certain amount of time. That they withdrew his green card, as it were, what we call a green card. I mean, the amount of difference that Trump's making over there. I mean, you know, I don't follow American politics that close. Ours is complicated enough without theirs. But yeah, they're saying their unemployment's going up. Yeah, there's supposed to be all these new production factories being built. Excuse me. We're still seeing videos of literally city streets full of homeless and drug addicts. I mean, he has concentrated. He's sorted out a lot of the finances. Obviously, Elon done that for him. They've saved billions and billions of dollars. And the only ones that seem to be getting upset about it are the ones that have been losing their little fraudulent backhanders. But that goes on here as well. You know. Not in as big a way, but we had more money than Trump and he was jealous. Yeah. You know, Elon is, well, to be honest, you've only got to look to what he's got and how much he's worth to see what sort of businessman he is. He has been ruthless in the past. You've got to be in business.
Excuse me?
But it's the fact that the only ones he seems to have pissed off in his businesses are the little lefty wokey tards and people like that, which to me is fair game. You know, it's open range on them. But But he's got to do a bit more thinking about his big fucking, what's it called, Starship, after the last one testing blew up. But he'll keep going, you know. Like he said, he's got the money. They've got another one already built. And the fact that he's had over 500 launches with recoverable boosters and what have you that can be used again with Starlink. I mean, 500 launches with no problems. I mean, how long did it take fucking NASA just to get one up there? MPs that you vote against enhanced police checks. Yeah, that's been in place for quite a while, Graham. Heather, because she works for a charity, she had to have the proper background checks. But that the enhanced police bill, whatever it is, that was more about literally giving them their powers, which they already abuse, to literally just grab anybody, enter your home without a warrant, even if it's not warranted. A lot of it was against, you know, what our rights were. So that's probably why that's been voted down. They were told it wouldn't pass the Lords anyway. So, Scar, do you mean big firework? Flyby, good evening, mate. Sorry, didn't see you there. Good evening, buddy. Welcome.
I did. He said bless you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's how my eyes and that wander here. It's especially when you're tired. It's been a busy couple of weeks actually. I should be fucking glad when we do get to Cumbria, because it's one of the only times that I do really rest. I have nice lay-in. Even if I'm not asleep, I'll quite happily lay in the bed. I do actually go to sleep when I go to bed there.
He doesn't keep me awake with the snoring, because I'm asleep as well.
Yeah, with the size of that bloody bed, you'd be the other side and you wouldn't hear me snoring anyway.
Oh, I do.
But that's the other thing. It's one of these queen size beds.
King size.
Is it? I thought it was queen size.
King size.
Oh, okay. But
King is bigger than queen.
we can stretch out, and you know, I can stir without disturbing her and trying to escape. All right, Graham, you take it easy, buddy. You look after yourself. Good evening, Tony. I can't see anything else in there. But yeah, you know, I mean, do any of you think Starmer will be kicked out?
No.
I think there might be every chance. There will be rumblings if they kick the benefits reform bill out, because then a lot of the MPs will realise, oh, we have actually got more power than we thought we had when it comes to Starmer. I'm hoping. Yeah, it'd be nice, Tony, wouldn't it? It would be nice to see. But the thing is, it's in a short period of time, and I'm not just blaming Labour for this. I mean, Tory have got to take a lot of the blame as well. The destruction of this country was on the cards. It has been for a long time. The Tories were doing it a little bit more subtly. But all of a sudden, once this prick got in power, you know, it's accelerated right from day one. Load of lies to get your cross on the fucking bit of paper. and then he reversed everything he promised. People should have seen it coming then.
And blamed a big hole left by
Yeah,
Conservatives.
and blamed this non-existent, non-proved black hole. Well, they've created one a lot fucking bigger. But if you look back, this is what Labour have done every fucking time they've got in power. People haven't learned. Oh, absolutely, Scar. She's the one that's got the knives out for him. Reeves, she would have no chance. People know. I mean, she can't even do the Chancellor's job. How the fuck is she going to run as PM? Not a chance. Rayner is the main one. But then you've got people like Andy Burnham sat there in the background. People like that. You got to be wary of they fuckers. They're, you know. Did you know that 83% of Labour members voted Andy Burnham as the most desirable male in the Labour Party? Someone put up a video on a poll that they did themselves. It was who is the most desirable male and female. By over 90% of the votes, it would seem that over 90% of Labour males would prefer porking Angela Rayner to any of the others. I mean, that just proves they need these jackets with the little white buckle straps and buckles on it. They're losing votes to everything, Scar. I mean, they're the least popular government we've ever had. Since records have been kept anyway. I dare say there was or has been some very undesirable ones back in our history, but they themselves caused civil wars, didn't they? Is that going to be the only way out of this for us? Is a civil war, an uprising of the people? It would probably sort it out, but I'm being absolutely hand on heart honest here. I don't think it would ever happen. I've always said the people of this country will not stand together. Yes. Yeah, anything but fucking honest, that bloke. Yeah, that was one of his main promises. We will be for the people. We will be open. We will be transparent. Be honest. Yes. I mean, for those words alone, with what he's done, he should have been thrown out of Parliament by now. But there you go. I don't run the place. I'll be honest, I probably wouldn't know where to start if I was in a position like that. But
you'd have a couple of referendums to find out what you needed to do.
To me, that's the way you should do it. Like we did with it coming out of the EU, we were given a referendum.
And
going in, we had the choice. But nothing they do now do we get the choice. We do not have chance to have our say. Because the real way of putting it and the real words don't reach out to them in Parliament. They've got no idea what the people are saying because they're shielded from it all. You know, silly Starmer. Who's Lucy Connolly? I don't know who Lucy Connolly is. Well, if he was reading the room, he would have fucking known. Oh, AI, don't get me started on that, Scar. I mean, after the story broke with the GPs using AI, As I said, I've always said it was going to be dangerous. It's dangerous to all of us. It's dangerous to the human race. And I'm not talking about just because of the Terminator movies. But when you put an unsafe AI system in place, especially with something as critical as the NHS, untested, unproven, well, I say untested, unproven, by the NHS and the government, then yes, there are big security risks. The fact that it can learn, it can lie, it can cheat, it can deceive.
Look at the mess software made with the post office, and that wasn't even intelligent.
Yeah.
That was just software
wrong. Programmed by human beings.
Software gone wrong.
And AI to me is very, very dangerous. I mean, I said about it, was it in today's video? It might have been. About their new fangled idea about DNA testing every newborn baby. Yeah, that's all it was. It was a goods cooperative. That's how it started, or was supposed to have been. But yeah, DNA testing newborn babies. Well, that is just one big collection of data. As I said in the video, they profess they're going to use it to look for future medical issues. Quite how that works, I don't know, because as I said, if you've got an hereditary disease in the family, it's usually checked out, sometimes before birth now. But testing every single one, no, that should never happen. Never, ever happen. As I said, you move into the world of Minority Report with that one. And anyway, how would the NHS support doing it all? They can't do the fucking job they're doing now because the managers take all the money.
Well, they've got all those unemployed people from the testing centres that they're paying, but they're not actually doing any work. So it's creating a job for them rather than sacking them.
Yeah, data is power, Scar. It's, at the moment, I would say it's up there with gold, silver as one of the most desirable commodities. Most companies now rely on people's data for advertising. Just simple things like every time you use a debit card or a credit card, they can actually see individual items that you're buying. So they know, okay, right, that one's not going well, we'll market that one a bit more. And that's how you end up with all these adverts on your phones and computers, because they're monitoring your data. All technology is dangerous to us. It's hackable. I mean, you've only got to look back. Supermarkets got hacked. Banks got hacked. The Ministry of Defence got fucking hacked, for crying out loud. So, no, it's not secure. All the platforms that profess to give you end-to-end encryption, I nearly said subscription then, and keeping your data safe, no, they're not. They monitor it all, WhatsApp especially. And I mean, look at what happened with not Ancestry. There was another one of the DNA check your family out shit fucking things. When millions of people used it, and then they sold the company to somebody And that somebody now owns all that data. And because you voluntarily give it to them, you don't get any say in what they do with it. No, that's millions and millions of people's data, the whole family bloodline, where they live, all sorts. And that was just sold on the open market to the highest bidder. Now, do you believe your data is safe? I don't. That's why I don't use clouds and shit like that. Anything I do on here is instantly put on one of my removable hard drives. And that's where I keep my data. Yeah, they can see a certain amount on here, but yeah, data is big power today, Scar, and big money. Yeah, the food cooperative. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people used to do the channel cruises to stock up on stuff, especially those from the East Coast and, the East Coast all the way up where they run the ferries, really. But then they started putting the restrictions on, didn't they? Because they realised the amount of tobacco and booze that was coming back into the country, that they were losing out on a hell of a lot of tax on it. But there were a lot of other differences that people didn't realise. Yes, you could go over there and you could, many hotels used to do it, you could buy twice as much washing powder for what you paid for it here. But what people didn't realise, what they sell on the continent, stuff like that, and it goes with a lot of things, is a lower grade than what we have to sell here. You've got certain standards. There was one hotel, I actually remember it many, many years ago. He was interviewed by mainstream media, and he said, well, he said, we've stopped going over for some things. He said, and that's where the washing powder thing come from. He said, we found the washing powder was making people itch. It was giving people rashes. It was making the sheets and the blankets rough and what have you. And then he looked into it and realised that they were a totally different grade of washing powder. Although it's from the same company, got the same logo on it. So he stopped buying it.
Is that why marathons aren't as good? Because we've now got Snickers.
Well, yeah, they changed the name, didn't they? Probably took one of the nuts out. But yeah, that's just one thing they didn't realise. What are they going to do if they find taking dinner babies? Yeah, you're into the island scenario there, and you scar the movie The Island. Yeah, Jurassic Park, building things from the DNA, making spare parts, and they have made spare parts from DNA for human bodies. But yeah, it's very worrying when they do that. I can't fathom it out. They seem to want every opportunity, every turn, everything they do. Data, data, data. The human element of everything in society is disappearing. Like the jibby jabs. They seem to have one for everything. Even diseases that they haven't found yet. Apparently, they've got jabs for them. They've got jabs for every fucking strain of COVID, although they don't know what every fucking strain is. Probably because somebody's never typed a number and a name into the computer. But there's some interesting posts on other platforms. One which I particularly took a liking to was, is anybody else out there that is around my age or even younger that can ever remember turbo cancer being mentioned before COVID? I'd never heard the term before. Never heard of a turbo cancer. Never heard of anybody suffering from one. And he started around 2020, 21, wasn't it? Just food for thought. And they're moaning that mothers aren't getting their babies immunised nowadays. Well, no, because people have lost mistrust. They've lost trust, in Big Pharma. They've lost trust in the NHS. And they've certainly lost trust in the government. So the uptake of any type of inoculation or jab is making people stop and think. Whereas before, they never questioned it. Oh, doctor says it's good for you. You got to take it. Look at the mess that led to. Yeah, it's... Yeah, no, that is an angle I've never even thought of, Scar. Well put, mate. Made me think. Now, yeah, if they test a baby's DNA, oh, you're going to have this problem in the future. Oh, you're going to need a heart transplant eventually. Yeah. Where would they get someone that's willing to give them medical insurance? If it's a pre-diagnosed condition that is years down the road. I mean, I used to have some insurance, and it used to ask me on there blatantly, is there a history of cancer in your family and things like that? And that was for insurance. Well, yes, there is history of cancer in my family, especially the male side. And hence I get tested every year. And as far as I know, the haematology department at the hospital tests for it every time I give blood on every month for the venous section. But oh, pardon me. Oh, we must have a lot of lurkers just sat in the background listening. Oh, I know some that will be there, but again, see, the videos now, mine, again, it looks like they're holding them back, putting them at the bottom of the feeds. The subscriber count is still going up, yet viewings are still going down. I mean, that doesn't balance itself out whatsoever. One good news is I haven't seen any comments being removed lately, or for some time. So well done, guys.
Unless, of course, it's Graham not.
Oh, Graham's always had his removed. They've always messed him about. Same with poor old Mark. They've always persecuted him. Even some of my replies. I've seen one or two of my replies removed. But that's why I say when we're on here, be careful of what you say and what you type. Because, yeah, they are watching. And because I actually don't put out the wholesome content that they said I should do if I want to get my viewings up. If I want to put a video up of funny cats, I'll put video up of funny cats. But there's enough of them out there. So I prefer to do it my way. If that means a few people get pissed off or offended by it, fine.
Tough.
It's up to them whether they take offence or not. I'm not racist. I'm very careful how I put things. Yeah, it is Scar. I mean, one in particular on Facebook about the MP that tweeted, "Oh, these girls that were had by the grooming gangs should shut up for the sake of diversity." Face ache put a banner across the post. One the usual fact checking bollocks. This MP did not actually say this, so I basically sent them a copy of the fucking tweet where she said it. I said, "There you go, fucking deny it now." You know, they're idiots, absolute idiots. I mean, my argument with the fact checkers is when they turn around and say, "Well, no, that isn't the fact. They didn't do that." Well, can you prove that they didn't say it? Yeah, but this is social media. Oh, you got far more rain on X. They do have fact checkers on there on X, but literally they'll leave the post up and they'll put in the bottom, you know, if it's a false video or an AI video, because it's an absolute fucking free for all on there. That's why I said I'd never had it, but I wanted to have a look. You know, they're more open with what they say, but a lot of what's on there, I mean, I should say probably 90% of the clips and videos that come from Russia, Ukraine and Iran and Israel, they're all AI. They're all faked. Or they're all from an event, you know, before. They're not what they say they are. And there are some evil, nasty bastards on there. I don't do a lot on it, but I do look at some of the stories. You've still got the gore on there. You can still go on there and watch people getting shot and shit like that. Well, you got no chance on here. I mean, there was one. It was only a couple of seconds, actually. And it was quite horrifying. It was, I don't know what the backstory was, but the bloke was stood on a roof by a river, probably maybe 10 floors up, deliberately took a header off the top, landed on the concrete edge of the river, and honestly, the bang as his head hit, because he hit head first, it was like somebody hitting a big concrete building with a fucking sledgehammer. It actually echoed. It was sickening. You know, you used to see things like that on YouTube, on here. But over the last few years, or at least since I've been on here, you got no chance of getting something like that posted. Yeah, I mean, to me, Scar, I mean, I never played computer games. All we had was the fucking ping pong shit when I was a kid. My brother got into a bit of gaming. But when you look at the games they play, more or less every single one of them revolves around violence. GTA, stuff like that. You know, even the cartoon versions, the cartoons, the players are beating each other up to grab a medallion or something like that. You know, that to me, from my memory, seems to be when the kids started to turn more and more violent. They turned more introvert. You know, they'd rather play the games than go out. I mean, I was always brought up as an outdoor kid. At weekends, especially on a Saturday, you got booted out the fucking door about 9 o'clock in the morning. and you weren't allowed back in until the street lights come on. Unless it was a policeman brought you back and nobody ever asked where you'd been and what you were doing. Oh, Pac-Man's an absolute animal, Gordo. Good evening, Jen. Welcome in. But yeah, to me, that was when all this started blowing up with the kids. And, and probably the incels, that's where they developed from. I mean, someone called me an incel because if I'm not asleep, I'm in front of the computer. Well, yeah, I've got fuck all to do. I'm sat at home all bastard day. I can't get out the house. I can't walk anywhere. It's a bloody shame I'm not more proficient with a computer because although falling asleep willy-nilly and shit like that, I probably wouldn't be able to hold a job down anyway, but I haven't got the aptitude for that. I mean, I've looked at a spreadsheet once and that was concerning something during the pandemic that I'd been sent. I didn't know how to fucking read it. I didn't know how to open it. I mean, Heather sat down for half an hour, tried to explain it to me.
And then did it for you.
And then did it for me. Yeah, there's no way I could earn a living sat in front of a computer. No matter how posh me setup looks.
You could try OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Yeah, great. I'm going to bend over, show me ass at once. I'm going to be racked with pain with fucking cramps. I'm going to fall over and can't get back up. And any exercise, I won't be able to breathe afterwards. That's going to make real good OnlyFans.
You can sit there and tell the girls what you'd like them to do. So.
You mean just basically watch porn, sit and watch them do it?
Yeah.
Oh, that even twisted muscle in my side then turning round. But this is what I felt. I mean, if I straighten my leg under the table here, it's a 50-50 chance whether I'm going to get a cramp in my calf muscle. And this is the daily struggle when you got the shit that I got. Heather keeps saying I keep saying I've only had all this crap medically going wrong since I moved to Birmingham. And she pointed out, no, it's ever since I met her. And the fact that she said she was a curse, it does start to think, yeah, she's right. But I'd still go through it all to be sat where I am now with us. Yeah. Pass the bucket. But no, it's honestly, I used to blow a trumpet a lot, but I wouldn't be here doing what I'm doing now if it wasn't for her.
Not a trumpet, it's a saxophone.
And I probably wouldn't even be alive. There's a few times that she's found me in a condition that I shouldn't be in.
You mean if I'd have left you, you'd have been dead? Never mind.
Yeah, I hadn't phoned the ambulance when I had my stroke, or picked me up when I collapsed in front of the fridge with my head in the fridge. But that was self-induced. I've got to admit, that was my fault. That was a few years ago when I was still using cannabis as medication for my muscles. And I got given a bit. And it was way stronger than what I used to use because I was only using it for medical. And I actually whited out in the fridge. Apparently I was trying to get my head in the fridge because I'd got warm. And it was the freezer, wasn't it? It wasn't the fridge.
Oh, God.
I had my head in the fucking freezer and ended up on the floor. No, we haven't, Jen. I've got to get up in the loft at some point. when I can feel
Why
safe
does
using the
nobody
steps.
believe me? I have thrown it.
Yeah, I think
away.
you've thrown it out. I seem to remember going through the boxes up there before, deliberately looking for it.
Every time Jen asks, I repeat, I have thrown it away.
Yeah.
There was a time when it was all fun and games, and then it got a nuisance, and I was moving it around, going, what purpose can I? No. So it went in a.
Other than to issue me with pain.
It went in a box of stuff. I think it went around to reuse. You can go around there and see if they've still got it.
I haven't had an update from Pat lately either, guys. The last I knew, it was his birthday a week or so ago anyway. I think it was Spain or Portugal he was off to for a bit of a break for 7 days, I think it was. That's where he could be, but last I've heard, he's absolutely fine still.
So in other words, he could be absolutely anywhere for any length of
Could
time.
be locked up in any foreign land.
Yeah.
When you get older, the slightest king. Yeah, Scott, and it hurts more. And it takes longer to heal. I mean, my actual injuries, not through any of the conditions I've got, but the only actual real injuries I've got, I've caused them all. They were all down to me. Whether it be in the cars or on the bikes or doing something silly. I can't put that down to anything else, basically. I knew it was coming. I mean, I've abused my body at work ever since I was a kid. Doing more than I should and shit like that. So I knew I'd have to pay eventually, but I didn't think it would be quite this quick, to be honest.
You thought you'd be dead first. I know.
Well, when I was born with the heart condition and that, they said I wouldn't live over 21 to start with. So that was how I led me life at the beginning. Was, well, I ain't getting past 21. Let's fucking enjoy it while I can, And then as medical science got better, oh no, that won't be a problem and what have you. And by that time, I was already set in the ways of crashing bikes and cars and all sorts. But yeah, anything simple, Scott, it can put you out of kilter. I mean, Heather, with her artificial hip, the last time she dislocated it, all she did was literally shuffle around in that chair. And then she had to sit there with a dislocated hip for 5 hours for a fucking ambulance.
That's fun.
I did try to put it back in myself. I did know how to do it, but I just couldn't get it in. I was trying to get it in before the swelling set in, but that had already happened by the time the ambulance got here. But yeah, medical, again, over my lifetime, I've seen a lot of innovations in the medical profession and trade, as it were. A hell of a lot of things can be fixed now that couldn't be fixed before and replaced. And just that now everything costs 3 times as much. I can remember a time when you very, very rarely saw a coloured nurse or doctor. Well, there was a few nurses, but doctors, very rarely. They're all stout English men. Not as many women doctors either back then. Back in the days of the family doctor that used to come and knock on your door if you made a phone call to them and said you were feeling off colour or something.
go
You
back
know.
far enough, women weren't allowed to study to be anything.
Oh no, back before our time, they weren't allowed to study for medicine or anything.
So when we were kids, the doctors and things had come from that sort of era.
Mm. Well, the first syringe I can ever remember as a kid getting an injection from was one of the old glass ones in a metal frame.
Yeah.
One of the doctors still had one of them, and he used to use on people. You know, they used to clean it every time. Just change the needle. Instead of push on, it used to be a brass thing where they screwed on. Fucking great thing it was.
Worked.
Yeah, it worked. The bloody needles were about the same size as the things they put in my arms now. They were huge.
Well, did the job.
But then again, you know, things that really put me off. I had a lumbar puncture when I had the blood clot on the brain, the needle in the spine. And I have never felt anything like it.
I'm getting more drink. What about you?
What are we doing on time? Past. No, I should be all right for a bit.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that they all. Well, if you look at them now, Scar, a lot of the consultants still do, mate. You know, they're the big earners. You know, GPs as well. You know, there's a lot of GPs on over £100,000 a year with their little sidekicks and private clinics. I mean, when I went in, fucking hell, when was it? Ooh. Monday, when I went to see the GP. I mean, I sat there waiting for 20 minutes. You know, there were 2 people in the waiting room. 12 doctors in the clinic, between 2 different clinics in the same building. 2 patients in the waiting room. You know, it's all done with phone calls, even video calls. But you can't diagnose through things like that. So how the hell they think AI is going to do it, I don't know. You know, how many wrongful diagnoses would it give? I mean, with mine, I've got 4 conditions that share a lot of the same symptoms. So what would an AI think of that? Would it be able to come up with all 4 of those ailments? Or would it just pick one? Because all of them have got different treatments. And some of them, if I gave the wrong treatments, could be nasty. It's like that shit. Trimbo. That's a steroid spray. Several weeks after being prescribed it, I was told that I can't take my painkillers with it because they react with it. Therefore, I can't take painkillers. I can't risk going back on tramadol. Fucking well addicted to them last time. Still waiting for an appointment.
You have to really, isn't it? Lifetime supply of tramadol.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jen. This is what I've always said. That, I mean, the surgery here, when you do get to see a doctor, and they do prioritise us older ones at the moment there, and you only see one doctor. You don't get pushed around anymore. I saw him Monday morning. He put in a prescription for my aero tubes, which I have to squirt the steroids in and breathe through. He agreed with me that I needed a chest x-ray, and if I needed another appointment to see or talk to the COPD nurse. Literally an hour after I got back from the surgery, those were delivered from the chemist. I've got a phone call within an hour or two with an appointment for the COPD nurse. And this afternoon, when I got back from the hospital, as I say, I got a phone call for the x-ray for my chest, and I've actually got that tomorrow. So
I did a tablets request for myself yesterday.
You're still ain't come.
I did one for you this morning, and you got yours. Favoritism.
Yeah, some of it, Stitch, I mean, they've took a couple of blood tests and they've never given me any results from them. Even this doctor said, well, there's no results on here. Well, I said, well, they definitely took it. I can still just turn up, Scar. I don't. But if I need a blood test, I've only got to ring the haematology unit and they'll let me in straight away to do one. Yeah, as I've always said, it's in a way, sometimes I do get pushed forward a bit in the queue if you actually physically waiting in a queue. Simply because I know staff at the hospital. And if it's one of them that's taking me blood or something, they'll come on in here, go on quick, let's get it done, But yeah, the times are stretched out. They keep saying that they're seeing more people because there's not so many people waiting for appointments. Well, no, it's because they've cancelled a lot of them. The only place that is ever really busy is A&E. And that's just full of people that can't get an appointment with their GP, basically. Or they're sat there waiting for an interpreter with, a couple of dozen of the fucking family.
Well, they might be having a heart attack.
Well, you'd think they were, the way they keep yelling and fucking screaming and fucking crying. And that's not the one that was injured. Yeah, well, that's the other thing, Stitch, you're bringing in, said there about the mobile x-ray unit. They keep saying that they're going to put more scanners in, build more units. They're not. What they're actually doing is renting them off specialist companies, putting them in a fucking container or a couple of containers and sticking them in a car park at the hospital. I mean, the local hospital's got 2 temporary scanners. I think one's an MRI and the other's a CT. But they're just in metal containers, basically, in the car parks. Yeah, what they're trying to do, Jen, is get everybody on this NHS app, which they post all your results on, so you can see them for yourself. But again, the NHS computers got hacked before, didn't they? So your data's not safe in there, really. I mean, if I have that x-ray tomorrow, I will probably get a phone call from the doctor. I've got to see him when will we see him again? 9th of next month. So it's only a week or so away, so he'll have them well by then. So, I might be able to see if my lungs are fucked or whether it is actual COPD. If you want a copy of it, Stitch, they will only put it on a disc and you will have to pay for it. And you'll have to sign an agreement that you won't use it against them in any way, shape or form for any litigation or court case and stuff like that before they give you the disc. It used to be a tenner. But you can ask them to put all your x-rays on that they've got on file, any scans. It will also have any doctor's letters. And it also has, funny enough, what the consultant says about you in his notes. I got one a few years back when I had the blood clot. And I've got CT scans on it, the MRI, x-rays. In fact,
Oh no, we're going to
here we go again. Yes, I'm looking through something.
He needs to be able to prove he has a brain.
Yeah, I've got to find the fucker first, haven't I? Not in that file. This is a big problem with me and tech. When I first started it, Heather showed me how to store things. But what she didn't tell me is what happens if you don't name.
Oh, she did.
Did you?
Oh, she did. When you were doing the bike videos, I said, it's all right downloading them, but you need to go through and change the name so that you can find them again afterwards. Because in a week's time, you won't know what number 17 and number 18 are.
Because I've got thousands of videos and pictures. But if I want to find one particular one that I know I've got to go and look through them all because I can't find them with a title.
Because he doesn't remember what he called them. And that's my fault.
The one I'm looking for now, is it under there? Nope. I actually looked at this afternoon and I can't remember which fucking file it's in. But anyway, I've got pictures from the scan of my brain.
Yeah, give it up.
I can't even imagine which fucking one it would be in. It's not in captures. Might be in there. Nope. And it's not just the hard drives in the computer here. I did have another 2-3 laptops. And there's stuff on there that I'll never be able to find. Fucking hell, where the hell did I fucking put it then? Oh, this is crazy, man. I thought it was in one of them two. Am I whizzing through them too quick to see them? Ah, there we go, look. There we go. Whoosh. The reason I'm putting this one up is that is actually my brain. And as you can see, there is some anomalies. I don't believe that one was it. I think it was that one there that was actually the blood clot. But that is, it should say on there whether, yeah, MRI. That was a still that was taken from the scan off the disc. But even the menu in that is very, very complicated. And when I want to see any of the pictures on it, I have to get Heather to find them for me. It's all in like tech code and shit. Spine personal. Ooh. But I mean, most of them are pretty good. I mean, my doctor will show me the X-rays. I will have to go back for either a scan or more X-rays because after my physio appointment next month, they're going to want updated ones because they're trying to do my physio on literally 2-year-old scans. Which isn't very good. But guys, I'm actually falling asleep here. I'm losing concentration. I'm going to have to finish early. I've been very, very busy. And it's
You've
actually
done a lot today.
I've done a lot over the last 2 days. Well, 3 days, really.
Yeah, I know, but you've still done a lot just today.
Yeah. You know, a lot of walking around the hospital and shit like that. A lot of waiting around, which tires me out. So I am going to call it early, I'm afraid, guys. Sorry to cut that short, but I really don't think that I can carry on a bit here. I'm absolutely whacked.
And he gets to the point where all he does is yawn, so there's no point trying.
Well, the thing is, if I fall asleep in the chair, then it's going to be a horrible night's sleep upstairs. Isn't
That's what I'm saying, darling. There's no point pushing it.
But sorry about that, guys. I always try and get to the 9 o'clock mark. But as I say, it's been a very busy day and I am absolutely shattered and I can feel my legs starting to tighten up as well. So that will be more cramps to deal with later. Thank you, Jem. But as I say, it's a big relief. At least it's one thing. I'm struggling to breathe again now. One thing I can wipe off the list that my bypass surgery is absolutely fine. So, yeah, we'd all like miracle cures, Stitch, but there ain't no miracles out there, believe me. It's do it yourself or trust Big Pharma. But anyway, guys, before I do lose it totally here, that's a good night from me.
And me.
And a good night from her. And I can't go without saying stay safe, stay strong, and stay free. Hopefully next week I'll be feeling a bit better so we can carry on a bit longer. But thanks for joining in tonight, guys. Big respects to each and every one of you. Take care.
Bye.
Ooh, fucking head drop then. I've got to press that.